Hi, I'm Alex from Naked Buddha, and I'm here with Michael Gannon from Gannon Yoga. And Michael's been working with us on our Ashtanga Yoga app, which we're really proud of, and probably the chances are after you're watching this video, you've probably already experienced. And we thought it would be kind of fun to get to know the man behind the app. So to find a little bit out about how Michael came to yoga and some of the ways it's impacted on his own life. So maybe Michael, as a starting point, what was your first experience of yoga?
Well, even though it was 15 years ago, Alex, I remember the details very well. I was living in Miami Beach and I owned a little clothing boutique on the same block as a yoga studio. I didn't realize the yoga studio was there, but all these sweaty people used to come into the shop and want to try on dresses. And so I took notice to, why there were so many of them. And I asked them, what are these little rubber mats that you're carrying around in your bag? And they started telling me, oh, we do yoga. And we do things like dog pose. And there was even a girl one time that put her mat down in the boutique and was showing me some of the poses. And I thought, well, this is peculiar. I didn't know that this kind of yoga stuff was around here, but I had no experience with yoga. I didn't know anything about it. I started meeting some of the teachers and the owner, and she invited me to class. And then I realized that some of my party friends from the beach actually went to yoga there as well. So when I went to my first class, I walked in and the owner said, Michael, you came. Here, fill out this form. And I thought, a release form? Why do I need to sign a waiver to do yoga? So I did it. She said, take one of these mats, go put it down in there. I walked into a room. There was already a few people there with their mats down. Some were just kind of chatting. Some were sitting very quietly. And slowly, the room filled up with 20 or 30 people. And then this bald guy walks in wearing a mala. Everybody stands up. He starts saying some things. And then everybody put their arms up like this. And then everybody went down like this. So I'm just looking around, following like monkey see, monkey do. And this went on for about an hour and a half. I was sweating and slipping and sliding all over the place and was amazed at some of the things that people were doing. But the thing that I remember most about that first class, Alex, is when I was laying flat on my back at the end of the class, sweating and huffing and puffing, I felt this energy, this charge running through my arms and my legs, all my body that was like, wow, this is intense. I don't know why I feel like this, but I want to do this again.
Well, it sounds like you had an experience that, I think is fairly common to people with yoga, that you experienced something which was more than just a form of exercise. And I think for a lot of people that haven't experienced yoga, they tend to think, oh, it's just a series of postures or, a way of doing exercise. But there's a real shift in people's internal state that they can have from practicing. And it sounds like that's what you experienced.
Absolutely. That's what I experienced. I mean, when I started yoga, to me, it was just a form of exercise. I didn't even know there was anything else. And when I went, just from experiencing the unique style of the physical practice, I thought, okay, this is interesting. I want to do more. So I would go casually for a while, and after a couple months, I started meeting interesting people and learning about different new philosophies, and it was like a whole new way of life that I didn't even know existed. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do a test. I'm going to do this yoga thing every day for a month and see what happens. So I bought a monthly pass, made a commitment to go every day. Didn't matter when, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes at night. At that time, I didn't know there was different styles of yoga. This was a multidisciplinary studio, so one day I did Shivananda, another day I did Iyengar, the next day I did power yoga, next day I did Ashtanga, another day was their own style of yoga. It just changed every day. So after doing it like that, even different yogas for a month every day, I started like the initial form of transformation, and I didn't even know what transformation was at that point.
Well, it sounds like a key part of it was your commitment to your practice. And obviously I've got my Naked Buddha hat on right now as I'm doing the interview, and think of people watching this and thinking people getting the most out of using the app, and it sounds like that part of it was you doing it every day. And it sounds like through doing that, over time you started to experience the transformation, which I guess meant after a while discipline wouldn't have been an issue because you would have seen the change happening.
Right.
And I think often what happens is people have to commit to something for a while, but then they see the benefits, they experience the change, and then something else starts to happen. And I guess I'm interested, over time as your practice evolved, how did that affect the transformation? How did that affect your life beyond just your practicing yoga?
Well, yeah, I definitely started feeling a very subtle transformation at the beginning. And then as I committed to do the practice regularly, and then I realized that, okay, my practice is Ashtanga. That's the one that, I fit best with. And when I started doing just Ashtanga 6 days a week, it changed my life in so many ways. And the more that it changed my life, the more easy it was for me to commit to it. But if I never would have had an opportunity to experiment with a dedication to commit to it, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here today making, an Ashtanga Yoga application with you guys. But this idea of the dedication and the transformation at different stages has been, again, it's been an ongoing thing at different levels over the past 15 years in my experience with the practice.
Yeah, and it sounds like over time as well, your practice evolved beyond just, the postures, also to pranayama, to meditation. And I'm interested in how those practices have also impacted you.
Yeah. Well, the way that I experience the different levels, first, to me, it's a physical practice. You work with the practice and how you experience it in your body. Purification, soreness, strength, balance. And then it moves into a mental practice. You start to kind of see things differently and interact with people differently and understand yoga and many different things in your life differently. And then if you're open to it, it becomes effective on an emotional level. You start to feel yourself opening up, becoming more willing to be vulnerable and opening your heart and connecting with people on a personal level, to be able to be really present with people and one-on-one with people. And then there's opportunities to experience it on a very deeper conscious level, which can be different for every person depending on what that is to them.
Well, I guess after a while what happens is yoga becomes almost a way of being in the world. It becomes a way of being all that you can be. And, having spent, a little bit of time with you while you've been staying with me and while we've been kind of making this out, you certainly have a hell of a lot of energy and a lot of presence of yourself that you bring to what you're doing. So great. So Michael, I guess for people that are watching this that, have bought the app and maybe they've got it and maybe they use it some of the time, what would you say to people to perhaps inspire them to have the same level of commitment and practice that you had for the initial period that, you really start to experience the benefits? If you were to kind of summarize, what would you say to people?
Well, what I would recommend that everybody tries to do if they're using the app, to try to take at least 3 weeks to 4 weeks, that 21-day rule, and do the practice every day. Now that doesn't have to mean the full hour and a half or full hour. Just look at one of the short versions, and maybe if they could do just 10 sun salutations in the final seated sequence every day, this will kind of initiate the fire, create a spark that they'll start to feel some of the benefits. They'll be subtle, but they'll be definitely noticeable. And this will help them feel more energy, wakening parts of their body that they didn't really know were there, that maybe they haven't used in a long time, feeling more calm and more concentration. And then what happens, this feeds their desire to do more each day and to continue the practice.
Great. Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you for being here. And thank you guys for watching. And I really hope that you take on board what Michael's saying, because I've got to say, this dude's got a lot of energy. So if you want more, that's what's possible. Thanks for watching.